That was quick. It just ends all of a sudden. We got to phase out the music.
I was like, oh, it was like a little jump in music, and then
yeah, we'll work on that.
I liked it though. It was a great intro.
Yeah. So, greetings, everyone. I am Christine Kidder-Graves, and no, I do not have a frog in my throat. Really, I don't. I think it's just my allergies. My voice is not what it usually is, but I'm just going with it anyway. And I am so excited to be here with my friend and my first coach, Lisa Guillot. Yay!
First
So,
coach.
yes, yeah. Well, first non-triathlon coach, I would say. So
yes, I would not be able to coach you for a triathlon.
but yeah, Lisa's new book came out yesterday, Find Your Clear Vision, and I wanted to have Lisa on to talk with us and so we can have a conversation, because Lisa, I know you talk with many people, and I too, that they don't have clarity. They don't have clarity in their work lives, in their career, and that's a serious thing. It really impacts your life and the quality of your life. And we're here today to try to help you get some clarity, even if it's just a little piece of clarity. Something is a start. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And I think you're spot on, because as this book was rolling out yesterday, I kept sharing with people that it's kind of like two parts. It could have really been two completely different books. We've got the personal brand strategy, how you show up in your personal brand or your professional brand. And yes, you 100% need clarity there. But the part that people miss is the first part of the book, which is the mindset. And that mindset is what is keeping you cloudy or blurry or stuck. That is all that inner work. If you jump right to, well, I need a personal or professional brand, I want to be a thought leader, how do I show up on LinkedIn? What should I say? And then you draw a blank, it's no wonder, right? You're missing that whole first inner part, that inner work. I call it your inner platform. And you don't want to jump to the outer platform without doing the inner work first. Otherwise, we see it so often in that people show up vanilla and boring, and you can see the cloudiness in their message, or they're, jumping around and they don't know their target audience or the impact that they want to make. So I think that even this, going from cloudy to clear in your career, great alliteration first, but that is so key when it comes to, doing the type of work that you do, Christine.
Yeah, it is. And that's the thing. We want to be true to ourselves. There's no other Lisa Guillot out there, and there's no other Christine Kidder-Graves out there. But we get so much noise, and we're always in the world doing things and doing our jobs, and taking care of our families and being with friends. But we've got to go inside and really tune into that inner mentor, that inner voice, that North Star, whatever you call it.
Mm-hmm.
And the reflection is important, and making a habit of daily reflection, even if it's just 5 minutes. 5 minutes is better than nothing,
Oh yeah, 100%. Like, having that foundational work is something that I talk about in the book. And people often ask, well, do you meditate? Like, what's your morning routine? And I'm like, yeah, I'll get quiet for like 5 or 10 minutes. And then I write my to do list, right? There's still the doing part of it, but it's like who you're being. You've got to tag that part on top of it. And so can I actually ask you a question, Christine, to turn the
Oh,
tables?
please. Oh, yeah, go right ahead. I'm ready for you.
Well, I think it's super fun that I was your first coach, and now you are a career and mindset coach, and you help people do this type of work. And what I know to be true about you is when we first started working together, you have skills and talents and an entire background and expertise in what you do. But it was at this moment in time when you were looking to find your clear vision and then bring it to life as an entrepreneur. And so I'm curious for you, like, if you can share with us a little bit about your clear vision path and when did that become clear for you?
Yeah, it just, when I first started talking with you, Lisa, I just knew that it was time for me to make a change. But it was definitely, the path was like winding, and for me, you're ready when you're ready for certain things. So it's like you can't be impatient. Well, I mean, you can feel whatever you want to feel, but at the same time, you shouldn't beat yourself up. And, you've got to keep, I mean, the key is to always be in action, to be, not to, because it's easy. And I've been there. I've been stuck. I've been overwhelmed. I've been frozen. And we're either moving forward or we're moving backwards. And I don't want to move backwards. And
Yeah,
I don't want my clients to move backwards either. So, so yeah, so it just was an evolution. It was gradual. And I think that for me, like looking back and seeing that it was like a twisty, winding road. But when you talk with other people, I mean, is it ever really like a straight path? No. And do we want it to be that way? No, it's more fun and more interesting when it's twisty and turny, you know. So,
totally. Yeah, that's life. And I think that's what brings like the fun to it. And it brings your flavor of who you are to your personal and professional brand and why people would want to work with you because you've been there and you've done that. Yet I
yeah.
love how you then move it into, and then we take action. And then we make that phone call, right? Then we connect with that person we want to work with. And staying in action is a beautiful way to get out of that cloudy space. Because when you connect to another human being, even if it's just a DM or, popping into somebody's inbox, I am such a big fan of reminding people and remind them
Yeah.
again and again and again. Not you're not being annoying. I know I need reminders. Like that's why we have post-it notes. I've got tons of them right here to simply remind myself. And I think it really keeps you top of mind. And so staying in action that way, even if it's a tiny little connection, a nice word, a hello, is a great way to kind of get out of your own head and move forward.
Yeah. You reminded me of one of my more recent contacts. I'm always making new connections. And a new connection that I made a couple months ago or the beginning of the year, he said to me, he's like, thank you so much for always staying in touch with me and following up with me. And it's like, yeah, those reminders, I appreciate them too. I need them. And, if you don't need my help right now, that's okay. I'm here when you are ready to, that I can help you. I'm going to be here for you. So that's key.
Yeah.
And the other thing I love that you said too, that I have to touch upon, is going back to, well, being in action. And when we're being in action, like you said, that gives us more clarity because it will answer some questions for us. And then going back to being the person that we want to be, like who I am right now. Who do I really want to be? Who do I want to grow into 5 years down the road? And working and being that person now, not like waiting. But again, it's key to think about, all right, I'm being that person. And even when I'm working with my client wants to be a CMO, being that CMO now and
Mhm.
taking the action that that CMO would take right now, like really pushing yourself and stretching. So
I know. I'm seeing if I can't pull up. There we go. I'm like, where is that sketch? I don't know if it reverses here or not, but this is what you just reminded me of here. Most people live their life by default along this bottom line here,
yes.
and time just passes. And
Hmm.
they wait and hope that somebody's just going to offer them that CMO role, right? Well, if I keep showing up, someone's just going to offer it to me. Sometimes, but most of the time, you have to be in action. And that's all those ups and downs and ups and downs and ups and downs. But the way through it, and you pointed to that, is to be that CMO now. How is that person structuring their day? What types of conversations are they in now? How are they being with their body, their relationship, their mental health, their spiritual well being, all of that inner work? And then move that to the outer world, right? You have to be inspired and motivated within. And then, not surprising, we then go and we motivate and inspire others and create award winning campaigns and all the things that the CMO role is required to do. So that this sketch, like literally it's on page 7 of the book, like is the heart of what you're talking about there.
I
Um,
love that sketch too. I love it. So
yeah,
I
that
love
one
the whole
came
book,
about
but
years ago. You and I probably even worked on that too.
yeah, I think so. Yes, I remember it. I remember seeing it. So yeah. And, this platform, LinkedIn, we are also streaming to YouTube, by the way, and we're also streaming to my Facebook group. But LinkedIn is such an awesome platform to take advantage of, to really leverage. And that's one of my main things is to help people to really fully leverage it. You got to get out of hiding because you've got, each person on this platform has something unique and special to offer. But you have to get out of hiding because someone's not going to magically find you unless have your LinkedIn profile, search engine optimized, and I work on that with my clients and different things. And, putting yourself out there, commenting on posts. We want to hear from people. We want their perspective. We want to hear their opinion. Sharing your lessons learned, you know, but that all comes back to what's your vision, and what are you going to build? What are you going to build while you're here? That's going to
Ooh,
be
that's a good way to
lasting.
say it. Yeah. I've noticed leading up to my book launch, I've been spending more time on LinkedIn and I want to love it. I like really do, but I notice a lot of posts it's not even like humble bragging, but it's like this is this fantastic thing I did. Look at me. And you're just like, okay, great. Congrats, right? Versus like what I see with you and what I see with other people who are really leading from a place of vision and sharing is that you're sharing value, you're adding value, you're giving like real life tips and being of service versus a platform to not so humbly brag, right? And I love finding people who can connect with that space because those types of conversations are so much more interesting to me.
Yes. Yeah, they are. And you also reminded me of paying it forward. I mean, we each know someone who has been a star in our career, in our work. Maybe it was an old boss, maybe it was a coworker. It's got to be someone in your connections. Tag them on LinkedIn,
Yeah.
celebrate them, bring, put the spotlight on them, because we need to see those stars on LinkedIn, because they can help others, and that's a good thing to do. You can even write a recommendation for somebody. You know, you could just start with that, but that's a good way too. If you write a recommendation for someone, maybe they can write a recommendation for you. You can help each other out. You know, that's, LinkedIn is good for so many things with our connections. It really helps a
Yeah,
lot.
I imagine like if you're going to a networking party or like a cocktail party, you don't just sit there and just humbly brag about all the amazing things that you've done this week and then like nothing, right? Like no conversation.
Yeah.
Instead, right, it's sharing, engaging, asking interesting questions, giving them feedback, being like, oh, I know somebody you should know, and introducing them. Like if LinkedIn became the best cocktail party ever, that would be fun.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. It could be, we can make it an amazing cocktail party. We can make it fun. And like you said, I think, like, when I go to a in-person networking function, although with the virtuals, I do that too, but think about it, that God has put these people on my path for a reason. You know, He wants me to learn about them and get to know them. So it's like asking questions and just really listening and taking it all in, and like being open to the possibilities, and LinkedIn facilitates that. So,
Yeah.
but again, we've got to use it. If we don't use it, it's not going to be able to help us.
Yeah, and I think that that speaks to, the title of this moment. We're going from cloudy to clear in your career, and that probably comes with like poking through the clouds and asking questions and getting curious and offering space for other people to give you feedback and talk and be in those conversations. And I know for someone like me, even though like I can do this one-on-one with you and we're doing it live, I don't like going to cocktail parties or networking events where I don't know anybody. I'm not extroverted in that way. I'm somebody who would like volunteer and like have to be there for a reason. So I learned a tip from my mom, who is also kind of like me in that way, that we're a little bit introverted when it comes to big crowds or trying to stand out. Like, I don't know, it just makes me feel weird. So she suggested coming in with a question. So if I come in and ask them a question, and her go to was always, what's something that you're excited about doing this year? And immediately turns it back to them. And they're like, ooh, you know what? I'm going to go see Lizzo, or I'm going to go to Paris. And so it instantly associates the conversation with something they're excited about doing and that I am interested in talking to them about. And then you can always follow up with them. Oh, how was Lizzo? How was Paris? Whatever it is. And it will enable them to remember you in a really positive way.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. That's great. And another tip too is, and this is using LinkedIn. So if you are able to find out, get a list of attendees at the function that you're going to, look up some of the people on LinkedIn, just so you're a little bit more familiar with their backgrounds. When I mean, I'm using LinkedIn constantly, and when I'm working with my clients, it's like, keep your LinkedIn profile updated. We need to do that, because someone could meet you in the grocery store and pull up your LinkedIn profile right away. And you have 4 seconds to make an impression.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's really helpful. It helps to break the ice. Like if you have a meeting, a business meeting with someone for the first time, you haven't met with them before, look them up on LinkedIn so you can be more familiar with them. And even if you feel comfortable sharing your profile with them, just so you guys can get to know each other a little bit more, and have a more collaborative, effective meeting. So
There you go. There you go. Yeah. It's a human search engine, really.
it is. It is, and it's very helpful. So, but anyway, but we're gonna need to wrap up in the next couple minutes here, because, and I'm going to also show, we have the link to buy Lisa's book.
Mm.
It's wonderful. It's 99 cents. The publisher has been generous and is like letting us purchase the book. I grabbed my copy last night, and so yeah, so that's really good. I'm excited about it. And but yeah, is there anything, I guess, if we had to just pick out the one thing, Lisa, just the one thing, the key takeaway for people to have to get from cloudy to clear in their career, what would it be? What would you say?
Get out of your head. You're cloudy in your head, but you are like an actual human being who is here and can step into a new space, a new room. So it's up to you to step into that space and get out of your head. And I think the easiest way to do that is to connect with a hello, uh, a reminder. We've already talked about all those ideas and details when we were chatting earlier. So that absolutely would be my number one tip.
That's a great tip, Lisa. That's awesome. And yeah, because yeah, get out of your head, because sometimes it's not the best place to be either. It's so much
No.
nicer outside, and that way you're not alone. You're talking with other people. And remember, you're not your mind. Your mind is a tool to help you, but you are not your mind. And yeah, just to really, use LinkedIn, use your connections, work with us. I'm happy to connect with you. I'm here to help. Lisa's here to connect with you too. So, so yeah, so this was a great conversation. It went by really quickly. Thank you for your patience with my raspy voice.
It gives a whole new element to your audio.
Yes, it does. So, but anyway, but yeah, thank you everyone for being here, for watching. And thanks again, Lisa, for coming on and talking with me about your book and having this fun conversation. So,
My pleasure. Anytime.
all right. Bye, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.